I was going to ask you something about the ascension in 2012. What happened in 2012?
Well, I'm not very popular with that answer, but I will explain to you that that was a mass abduction of humanity. That was tremendous amount of cloning on the planet. The Mayan calendar was, again, alien technology. Not to say that there wasn't some great Mayans. The definition of Maya is illusion. Okay, so the Mayan culture realized that they were being, let's say, tricked a long time ago and left the planet. At the same time, their signature was re-inherited with a belief system around the 26,000 year calendar of our, Milky Way. Now, what you can do with time, so as soon as you see time, you'll know that's all alien. Everything related to time is alien. Never forget it. If there's a 9/11, if there's 11/11, if there's a 26,000 year Mayan calendar, anything with a calendar is alien. And here's how you know this. First of all, you live forever. You live forever and ever and ever. And so there's no such thing as space and time. And so, as an example, the first thing they did to us in the secret space programs and or hyperspace programs is to make sure we reintroduce that back to us so we could do hyperspace travel. And of course, they made sure I wasn't able to have my memories back, but yet still could use my hyperspace capabilities. So anything related to time is really important that you understand. It's all alien abductions, okay? Now, the better question might be, why do they use time for the abduction process? And here's why. You are able to create, you individually, each and every individual is able to create another universe. And if you don't create a universe for them, they can't live. They're only capable of you like to use the words dimensions. I like to use the word frequency. They're only able to live at a certain frequency. So as long as you believe there's only a city down the street and a car crash and a bill coming up in the mail and a newspaper clipping, that's your only belief, that is their greatest desire, to get on a timeline of emotions that you're creating for them. Very difficult to explain in the English language. But essentially, as long as your little universe is all that you believe, they're really happy in duality.
Kind of like a fishbowl. Would you call it a fishbowl in a way?
That's right. So if you will remember, this is why I do this work, if you remember how vast the multiverse is, not your universe, you would be shocked at the potentiality. So you're living about 1% of the true reality that's out there right now in this vessel. The human body is not able to receive all of its light being, all of its source, because it was designed to be a big filter. So that's why most people have usually less than 20%, most likely 10% of their light body. And so they cannot realize all of the potential of the universe they're in, multiverse, if you will. So I hope that helps.
Doesn't mean that in 2000. Sorry, please. Did you want to say?
No, that's great. Thank you for explaining.
So in 2012, basically, let's say the half of, or let's say, I don't know how many millions of people have been cloned, right?
Yes. So 2012 was designed as a way to do a mass abduction instead of just individual abductions. So many people in 2012 went to the mall and saw a parking lot full of cars and went into the mall and there was nobody there. Mm-hmm. Now, the reason they do the cloning is your neighbor can't just disappear because they know you're a human. You have a lot of light being in you. So many of us have a lot more light in us than others. Well, we can't just make your neighbor disappear. They have the technology to cut and paste. And so the neighbor still exists. Ted has a neighbor that disappeared recently and reinstated itself. I took out one of his neighbors because I knew they were a bad guy, and now they reappeared. So it's quite an interesting technology. You can't just lose all your neighbors all overnight, even though they've been abducted, because you need because you need that reality to create another reality for the aliens. I'm sorry to say it. That's how tricky it is.
So basically, when we say that they cloned, let's say, half of the population of planet Earth, did they take their souls?
Nope, that's incorrect. They take, you must remember, our genetics are easily regenerated. So if I take one hair from your head, I can make another Antonio right now. Yeah, there's hardly any left, but we'll get some. And so anyway, but it just takes one hair to make another strand of DNA and recycle an Antonio. So what's more better, what is a more thorough question is how many Antonios are on the planet right now?
Well, I wish many, but not many.
So, and I'm dead serious about this. So when the light body comes into our reality, it picks the best of the worst. Okay. And this is a very poor observation and explanation. But as the light body comes into our reality, it picks the best of the worst. Now, as it comes into the body, physical body, it can also segregate. Now, what if there was another Antonio simultaneously coming into an Antonio, as an example?
Yeah.
What if there was 10 or 20 Antonios? So they can genetically map our light body. We're going to use me as an example. They could see when I came into this reality and have more than one light body ready. Now, that didn't happen with me. Instead, they put a implant in me to stop me from having these conversations today. They were not successful, obviously. So we're basically put in a vessel or segregated into multiple vessels. That's basically the best I can do.
Were the Maya an alien civilization?
Sorry, you broke up. Please say again.
Were the Maya alien civilization? Like were aliens? The Maya.
A portion, yes, and a portion not. Again, there was a mass abduction, manipulated. The reason they called themselves the Maya is to teach others long-term that it was an illusion. It was up to us to create our own realities. Please check my words. The definition of Mayan is an illusion. That was the greatest benefactor to humanity, was when they renamed their culture so we would learn from them in the future.
So this means they also, the Egyptian could be aliens.
Wow, we're catching on, aren't we?
Yeah, we do.
Now look at some of the sport and culture so the Mayan, as an example, they played a game, and if you won, you got to die. They couldn't wait to die. Anybody remember? They played a game. Yeah, they played a game much like soccer, but you put your rubber ball through a hoop on the side of a wall. Massively intrinsic game related to soccer, football. But why would someone want to play a game and die? Because they understood the afterworld. They knew they could leave here. They knew that the trap, the netting around this planet was here. And then if they had done their homework, they could leave this reality. They could leave this substructure of reality, this substructure of this frequency, this dimension, if they wanted to. So it's all in their hieroglyphs. All you have to do is read them. You can see it.
So this means if the Egyptian and the Maya, let's say that this sort of alien influence, right, just be a little bit more soft and more straightforward. Who has followed them, like because there is after them, who could we mention? Because if previously we had them, it must be something else.
It gets really simple once you start realizing everything has to do with promoting ascension or prohibiting ascension. Everything here only has to do with ascension, but everyone's hidden from the definitions and understanding of ascension. So we'll use the Egyptian as an example. The portal technology they used with those pyramids was for you to use a portal to go from here to another location in the multiverse. You go to many frequencies and leave your body here and come back to the body. And that's why we discussed in the past, there was such thing as mummies. That's why they were preserved. You could take your body, preserve it, take your consciousness, your light body, your spirit, whatever word you like, and you could go to another body. You go to another place. Now, you'd get pretty savvy if you understood that you're not a human being. You're a light being that can change bodies whenever it wants. So essentially, the pyramids were used for ascension. I can do ascension whenever I want. If I can portal in and out of here, this is exactly why you're talking to someone who does it continuously. So I am literally in the ascension cycle continuously. I never have changed. I come here, I participate with you, and I go home, back and forth continuously. That's how it works. But there's no such thing as home per se. I'm from source.
So that's the reason why they reduced the numbers of pyramids around the world, or because
that's correct. That's correct. That's exactly why. There's many tools in these pyramids, but that was primarily for humans, at least. Light beings, light bodies could change and portal in and out of here wherever they wanted. It was like an elevator almost.
Wow. Ted?
Sounds incredible. I've been told that actually the records from Atlantis are stored in, I believe it's either the left paw or the left paw of the Sphinx, and they're in a higher dimension. And when humanity reaches that dimension, then they'll be able to access it, not before.
Yeah, so I agree with that statement. They're also in physical text here, but they're all in symbolism, not words.
Okay, that makes sense.
And the symbolism are recorded in our genetics, and we're able to receive them just like the harmonics of our voices.
Sure, right.